What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to our regular quickie. We miss you guys. A few days without quickie, but we uploaded the schedule analyzer a couple of days ago. So hope you enjoyed that and hope you like that. My name is JJT with Komish. Komish, lots of news, lots of injuries, lots of injury updates. Where do we begin? Maybe we should begin with the trade.
Yeah.
Went on. Rui Hachimura just traded to the Lakers, although he hasn't played yet, as well as in exchange, the Wizards got Kendrick Nunn, which is kind of weird for the Wizards, I think. I think Rui has been asking for the trade. I think that's the rumors from the grapevine. It's two players were exchanged. The rest second round draft picks. That doesn't matter. That really doesn't involve us as much because it's fantasy.
I think the Wizards had no choice. Rui is up for extension this offseason. They can't re-sign him because they plan to re-sign Kyle Kuzma. Of course, they have Bradley Beal, Kristaps, so they don't have the space. They don't want to pay the salary luxury tax. So they had no choice. They had to trade Rui, and Rui also wanted out because he's not getting, I guess, the playing time and everything. Kyle Kuzma basically took his role. No, so that was why they had to move him. The Lakers, of course, they needed a young player. Fantasy wise, I'm seeing Rui. Of course, I don't see any more Rui available. Everybody has picked him up.
I've seen a few.
Well, in my leagues, at least, there are no Ruiz available right now, which is not surprising. These are the Lakers, of course. Anybody going to the Lakers will get a boost, marketing wise, everything. So sometimes a player becomes better than what they are really when they go to the Lakers, like Lonnie Walker, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, these guys. Rui though there have been games like the last game I think at 30 points or something. So there have been games he can score, but you know what Rui is? He's basically, in fantasy terms, basically like RJ Barrett, worse than RJ Barrett. So that's saying something.
No, I think Rui is more of a specialist.
Yeah.
If you need some scoring, if you need some good field goal, because I think he gives you more above average field goal for someone who scores a lot, then you can go Rui. I mean, that's pretty much it. There's the others, maybe some rebounds. If you get lucky, you'll get a few rebounds here and there. And then that's pretty much it for Rui. Those are the stat set that he gives you.
Right? In points league, yeah, I think he's better. Rui in points league because he can rebound also. He can shoot threes. So yeah, in points league he's better. In head to head, if you're in a deep league, yeah, sure. We know a change of scenery. He's a young player. He's a high character player. A change of scenery may be something, like Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma before was basically like Rui. Fantasy wise, we didn't really respect him that much, but this year he did. What happened to him? He really blossomed. So we're not saying Rui will not blossom, but I think he is a little overrated for now.
Yeah, it's not something to be excited about. I guess it's not something fantasy.
Well, as Laker fans,
well, we're Laker fans, but are you excited? We're not excited.
We're recording this just after the game where the Lakers just lost the 10th straight against the Clippers. LeBron looks zoned out. He left the court early, so we don't know what will happen there. It's very volatile right now. Although,
of course, AD is coming back, so this is a good segue to a couple of news here. Maybe we'll talk about AD first. AD is set to return maybe the next game, as early as the next game, I think.
Tomorrow's the next game.
Right, so the chances of LeBron resting tomorrow is highly likely.
Yes,
with AD coming back. I mean, AD wasn't coming back. There's still some hope that LeBron might play that one out. But since AD is coming back, who are they against tomorrow? I think they're against the Spurs, right? I'm not
Tomorrow, the
mistaken.
Lakers are against the Spurs. Yes, they're
Yeah,
against the
so
Spurs.
it's not really a very big matchup, unlike today. They were against Kawhi and the Clippers, who are rolling right now, trying to getting their. It seems like they're getting their groove now with almost everyone healthy. But AD coming back would be good news for AD owners. We've got news that he's looked good, so hopefully, that takes a hit, of course, to Thomas Bryant. Who else? There's not. I think it's just Thomas Bryant who's there. Anyway, the Lakers only have what, a couple of maybe 3 or 4 solid fantasy players.
Yes, that's why, as we said, Rui can get a bigger role, a bigger piece of the role if he plays tomorrow. Actually, I'm not. I think AD has only a small percent chance of playing tomorrow. He could. They said the more probable date is on Sunday, Manila time, their next game after tomorrow. So there's still a chance that LeBron doesn't play, AD doesn't play, then Rui plays, and Rui. If Rui plays without both of those guys, he becomes the top option. He'll score. He can score in the 30s
For sure.
for sure, and people overreact over that game. So that is a possible scenario for a Rui debut. But I think they should beat the Spurs tomorrow even without LeBron. But again, I think LeBron will not play not because of AD coming back. It's just he's fed up. There are gonna be lots of memes.
He's just tired. I think he's tired. It's not.
He's
I
tired.
don't think fed up is the term. I think they've been better. The Lakers have been way better. They've. I know
Well,
they. It's just tiring because they've come back from big
yes.
leads, right? It seems that they couldn't start right, but they always end the game better, except for today, of course.
Yeah.
Going to the other side, it's very timely now for the Wizards because Kristaps. Well, there've been some reports that he's, week to week.
Week to week. Yeah.
There've been some reports that he's maybe a couple of weeks out, but regardless, he is injured, he is out, and that means, and this opens up a lot more opportunities for Kuzma, for who else? I don't think none would be a very fantasy relevant player. That's why we didn't really talk about him as much, considering the depth of the Wizards in that guard position. So yeah, it opens up some opportunities for Avdija, Kuzma, with the injury of Kristaps and then the departure of Rui.
Yeah, Avdija is the guy. I know Gafford.
Gafford is another player, yeah.
Gafford should be the main ad there. The problem with Gafford before was he was starting with Kristaps, but Rui was getting some minutes also, getting a lot of minutes at the power forward. That limits Gafford and Kristaps combination. Now that Rui's out of the way, I think Gafford will get more of the Gafford Kristaps combo will get more chances to play together going forward. Now Kristaps is injured week to week, so that will be perfect for Gafford even more. But Avdija is probably the guy who's more available. Gafford should not be available anymore. Avdija, there will be some. I have some still. I see in some league.
We have some, but after today's game, I don't think.
Maybe not.
Yeah, he'll probably be added already. He had a great line today. I think he had 15 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, and a few rebounds as well. So overall, the across the board numbers for Avdija is way, way better than any of the player. Of course, Kuzma benefits the most, but obviously Kuzma won't be available in your leagues. So that's the Kristaps news. Some more injuries here. Steven Adams is the latest one. This just came in today. Actually, I approved a trade, a roto trade, probably a few hours earlier before this one. It was Steven Adams for Ben Simmons. It was a roto trade, but I thought, it was unfortunate because it was approved a few hours before the announcement of the injury, because the injury was announced a couple of hours ago. So Steven Adams out 3 to 5 weeks.
PCL sprain.
Who's the beneficiary? Brandon Clark?
Tillman will start. No, Tillman will start. I think Brandon Clark would probably get more minutes, and he's probably the better fantasy option there. I've tried looking for some Brandon Clarks in
Not
my league.
available.
Not available. So I think you can go with Xavier Tillman. Take your chances with Tillman. Not very high upside though. So maybe more for the 16, 18 team league kind of situation. He has averaged like 9 points, 8 rebounds, maybe a couple of threes or a steal or block maybe sometimes. Sort of better Jericho Sims maybe. These guys not really that good per minute players, but if they're gonna get more minutes now, they would be able to produce. Now, Santi Aldama would be the third guy here.
Is he
I
third
like
in line, or maybe he is higher than
that's the
Tillman?
thing. I don't know what they will do. I don't know what they'll do. They started Tillman. If they continue to do what they're doing, then Santi would just be around 17, 20 minutes. Not as appealing. But if they're gonna bring Santi back like before, when JJJ was still out, Santi is really a great ad. The problem is, I don't see, they're not showing that they're going to do that because JJJ plays like Santi in a way, outside shooter. So I think they prefer
And
Tillman.
he's more of a natural power forward than a center.
Yeah. Maybe they prefer Tillman to play the Steven Adams role and then Santi to keep on coming off the bench as a backup to JJJ. Then that doesn't make this any good or it doesn't change anything for Santi. But we can still monitor because of course Santi will still be available. He will not be added for sure as of now because we didn't start the last game. Maybe we look tomorrow what will happen, who plays more, and then we can adjust.
Yeah. So that's the Steven Adam news. Some updates on some of the Jimmy Butler was out. I'm just putting that out there as a sidelight.
Late scratch at that.
Late scratch, back injury, and 11 games. That's how long he lasted. 11 straight games. He played 11 straight games before missing another one. Hopefully, though, this won't take him as much time, and that's my hope.
I talked to him. He said he'll miss 11 straight games also. To just out, exactly into the All-Star game. So maybe he'll do that, but it should not be that bad. I don't think it's that bad. If you tweak your anything before the game, maybe it's just minor. You just want to play it safe. But Miles Turner did something like this and missed 3 games. So maybe that's.
I think 3 games is tolerable. Hopefully, not any more. Not any longer than that. But like I said, this is Jimmy Butler, and it looks like he won't be there. Especially now that the Heat are in 6th. I think they've already come back. They moved from that play-in position to now in that playoff spot. More incentive to rest him until he gets perfectly fine. And also a lot of their players are now healthy. Hero's playing, Kyle Lowry's playing, Caleb Martin's playing. So if he misses some time, Max Truss maybe, Caleb Martin, some outside chance of getting some value there.
If you need 3, maybe Max Truss would be the guy.
Yeah. And then some update on KD and Zion, both out another couple of weeks. They were reevaluated today. Although the KD news, it was quote unquote good news in the sense that the doctor said that he's progressing fine. He will start some physical activities now. Hopefully no setbacks. So that's a couple of weeks more. Now, this is interesting because we, in our leagues, the Fantasy Benchwarmers leagues, we have week 20 as our playoffs. So this puts us right exactly during the playoffs. And I don't know if that's a good news or a bad news for KD owners. If you are on week 18 or 19 playoffs, couple of weeks more, that's... Oh, wait, but there's a playoff. There's the All-Star, right?
Yeah, there's the All-Star. I think the situation
week 18.
there
he comes back maybe week 18.
He comes back week 17 to 18. Yes, week 17 to 18, around that time. Yeah.
So that's
okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I mean,
probably right after the All-Star. I think that's the best case scenario for him. I would assume that's the best case scenario. The best case, that's the worst case scenario, right?
Worst case. Yeah, I think he'll come back before. I think he'll come back 17. he did say late 17 to early 18, the first part of the 18, because he wants to play the All-Star game. I feel sincerely he wants to play the All-Star game. He hasn't played the past 2 years or 3 years. He has been voted in but got injured. I think, as he said, this is the last few times he's gonna enjoy or experience these things. So he's a little bit nostalgic now. Wants to take as much in.
And so he's getting older.
Yeah, he's getting older. He's getting a big getting bald.
Yeah,
like LeBron. So I think around the early part of 18.
All right, Zion though, another 2 weeks. What's the update on Zion?
At least another 2 weeks. We haven't gotten any update from him ever since he hurt his hamstring. It did not look that bad even when he hurt his hamstring. He's been out for how long? I mean, almost a month or more already. Now he's gonna miss 2 more weeks. This is really bad. I mean, KD, we know what happened. With Zion, it's just silence, and then they'll just say 2 more weeks at least. And 2 weeks will lead us to All-Star game again. And
they're gonna be more cautious with Zion. Yeah, I think
that's the thing. I think I'm more worried with Zion, but you can't do anything about it anymore. Nobody's gonna pick him up. Trade. Nobody. People will pick him up. Nobody will trade for him. No, nobody will trade for him. So just have to wait and hope that you're still alive when he comes back, fantasy wise.
Yeah. So those are some updates. KPJ, an update on KPJ.
KPJ is at least out at least another week. Olynyk also out at least another week. So those are very important things because I've been getting questions about dropping. More of Olynyk, not KPJ, but some people, I think this is the time where people are panicking already, trying to. They need roster. They need players who are actually playing. So I said Olynyk, warm bodies. I think Olynyk is more of a drop than KPJ. I think KPJ should be back next week. Olynyk might be back next week, but with Kessler playing well, maybe he doesn't return to his previous pre-injury minutes, usage, and everything. So if you really can't wait, hold on. I'm okay with dropping Olynyk. But KPJ injury has opened up a lot of different things in Houston also.
All right. If you're dropping Olynyk, maybe for some warm bodies, maybe any players like Avdija would work, right?
Avdija would work, yes. Avdija would work.
We'll run through some of the, I have some list here we can talk about in a bit. But before we go there, Jonathan Isaac returned.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac.
Okay, so Jonathan Isaac returned the other day, played 9 minutes, scored 10 points. That was solid per minute in terms of scoring. And I think he had 4 or 3 rebounds. What do you think? Should we pick up?
Yeah, I think you should pick him up, especially in 14-team leagues. I think he should be picked up. Sorry, I'm just changing position.
But do you pick him up only when you're, safely there ahead in the standings? But I just feel like you don't pick him up when you're trying to make the playoffs. You just pick him up. He's more of a luxury stash for me.
In a way, yes. In a way, he's a luxury stash. I guess we can segue a little bit. We can compare two situations: Jonathan Isaac situation and Mark Williams. No, I know a lot of people are cursing Steve Clifford in the Hornets because of what happened. Mark Williams was again benched today. Played
Did not play. What, 5 minutes? Didn't do anything.
Time. 6 points, 4 rebounds, something like that. But that was total garbage time. That was total, as in last 5 minutes of the game. So they're in a what to do. They picked up Mark Williams. So I think these two situations, Isaac and Mark Williams, you're correct. You have to have a level of, I think, confidence or maybe level of knowledge that you're gonna make the playoffs to do this. But both of these guys, especially Isaac, the upside, the return, what you will get out of it is probably gonna be worth it, no, for Isaac, because in 10 minutes, in 9 minutes, 10 minutes, what did he do, right? If he gets to at least 15, 18 minutes, we know what he can do. He was a top 20, top 30 player before. We won't reach that, of course, this year. But if he gets to 15 to 20 minutes, or even just 18, let's put it at 18, times 2 of what he played yesterday. I think what he did yesterday, you don't times that by 2, but he will get at least a steal and a block. Easily for him. Easily. You saw the last play against Jaylen Brown. The steal was clean as, really clean steal, and then a dunk. So I think Isaac's upside is there. Mark Williams, yeah, the upside is also there, but again, have to have a level of
So I dropped Mark
confidence.
Williams in a few spots, especially because I pick him up in teams wherein I'm trying to chase the playoffs. So it wasn't really worth it. I in a 16 team, I dropped him and added Xavier Tillman instead because they have a game tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's just hard to hold on to him if you're not in that playoff position. Hard to save him for that, and you don't even know the the Hornets might just be trolling us and playing him some spots, and then eventually won't play him really.
I think
much.
when Plumlee gets traded, no, when, I'm not saying if, when he gets traded or he is rested or tanking or whatever, that will happen. When that happens, Mark Williams and Nick Richards, people might think, okay, Mark Williams will be the starter, going to play 30 minutes, 35. I don't think that will happen. I think there would be a split between Nick Richards and Mark Williams around 24-24. So the upside of Williams isn't as high really as what people would think. But of course, there is the upside. There is the blocks, 4 blocks, 3 blocks, double-digit rebounds. He can do that. He can certainly still do that even in a split situation. But again, have to be practical also. It's great to stash someone exciting like a rookie who can do that. But if you're out of the playoffs when the time comes that he is exploding, there's no point.
Right. All right, so that gives us a segue to some of these names that I'm gonna mention. Maybe Komish can give his thoughts on whether these players are a hold, streamer, or just someone you should just ignore. Right.
Yeah.
Let's start off Patrick Williams. Hold, stream, ignore.
I will hold Patrick Williams. I love Patrick Williams' outlook. I didn't put Caruso anymore there because I've talked about Caruso a lot. Today didn't have as good a game, but still solid. Patrick Williams, Caruso, I think in the Bulls situation, they should be rostered. Yeah.
Delon Wright.
Patrick Williams, just to mention, 2.2 3-pointers, 1.2 steals, and 0.6 blocks this January alone. So the upside you can see right there. And the minutes is not going to go down with Pat Williams. Just inconsistent. Yeah.
Delon Wright. I know you like Delon Wright.
I love Delon Wright.
Is he a hold? I think this Delon Wright is more of, is he a hold or a stream?
No, he's a hold. He's a clear-cut hold. I've been trying to trade for him even in some leagues. His minutes are at 24, 25. Jordan Goodwin, the only other backup point guard, is in a 2-way contract. The Wizards are now at the cap. They only can play.
Hey, they have Kendrick Nunn.
That's not gonna matter.
I mean, that's another player.
If Kendrick Nunn eats into Delon Wright's minutes or role, then the Wizards deserve to, I don't know, lose whatever. Because Delon Wright, the way he played today, game-winning steal, Delon Wright.
Yeah.
So steals. That's really, people thought before Delon was a steal specialist. He's averaging 2.1 this season, but he's averaging around 6 or 7 assists the past 4 to 5 games. He's scoring, he's even shooting 3-pointers. I think he has had a 3-pointer for 5 games in a row. He's scoring in double digits, and the minutes are climbing. Now, without Rui, without Kristaps, there would be some changes in the rotation that would increase Delon's minutes. So really love Delon Wright.
All right. Another player you love is Larry Nance.
Larry Nance, yes. I know you don't. So
no, look at what he did today.
I mean, today 10.6 rebounds and steal 0.2 minutes. Yeah, not the best, but you take that. I mean, for me, you take that.
But as a streamer, right?
I have him in 14 team leagues. I have him in at least 2 of my 14.
I added him in. Well, I streamed him today, but I always see him as a streamer rather than a hold. Not really a hold for me personally. So I'm not a big fan. Every time I try to add him, he just flops. Right? He just flops. So
yeah, but without Zion, Najee Marshall is also out for, I don't know. He's out for a while. Now there's not. They started Jackson Hayes today.
Yeah.
I think they might.
I think Dyson Daniels got injured too.
Got injured. So there is a lot of players going down in New Orleans. So I think they might change that. Sometimes Hayes, sometimes Nance. As long as he gets 24, 25 minutes, I'll be fine. I guess he's like the Anthony Melton. I understand that there are still Meltons out there. People are still on the fence. But
there's a lot of Melton drops already. I've seen a lot of Melton drops
because of the two game
week.
Two game week. Yeah, but also because he's been struggling.
Yeah.
But for me, Melton, if he gets 24, 25 minutes, you can't underestimate getting like 3-4 assists, 1 or 2 3-pointers, 2 steals. That's still something. In 14-team leagues, I'm talking about 14-team. In standard, I'm okay with dropping. Standards, Larry Nance, maybe a stream. So there lies the difference. Just the difference now is that Nance would have a bigger chance than Melton because of the injuries. No, I think they would get him to 25, 28 minutes by the next game.
All right.
Larry Nance.
Tari Eason, I know he's been playing well. Right now, he's a must-roster player because he's starting. But once Jabari Smith comes back, we talked about him being a luxury stash. So once Smith comes back, is he still a stash or maybe just a streamer?
Smith and KPJ. Two players, because KPJ's injury made Eric Gordon the point guard. That opened up the small forward position because Eric Gordon was a small forward, starting small forward. So without KPJ, that opened up the small forward. That opened up stuff for Eason. When everybody's healthy, I think he's gonna be back to a streamer. Eason. So I love Eason, you know that, but just being realistic here, the minutes won't increase until Eric Gordon gets traded or someone gets really injured. We're seeing that right now. So this is like a preview. Trade deadline, Eric Gordon, very big chance he gets traded, but the Rockets are playing hardball. They want, I think, a first-round pick. So I don't know if they're going to continue to have that stance. If they have that stance, then Eric Gordon will not go anywhere because they're not going to get the first-round pick from for Eric Gordon. So that is what is important. If Eric Gordon gets traded, I think Eason is a must roster.
All right. KJ Martin is another Houston player here.
Yeah. Same with Eason, but I love Eason more. If you have a choice, I love Eason more, but I will hold KJ Martin also.
Right.
I will continue to hold him.
Last year on my list, Onyeka Okongwu, he got injured. I've seen him being dropped in a few leagues, not a lot, maybe 1 or 2 in a bunch of leagues. What is he still a hold, or should you drop him at this point?
I would put Okongwu the same boat as Herb Jones when Herb Jones got injured. Herb was dropped. No, now that he's back, of course, he's playing better, getting the steals again and all those stuff. I won't drop Okongwu. I don't want to be short-sighted, but I also know it's week 15. It's a different time already of the season. So when you drop him, I'm not gonna judge you for dropping him. If maybe you have 4 injuries, 3 injuries, you don't really have anywhere to put him, and then you're 9th or 10th. That's you have to drop him. So for me, I own lots of Okongwu. I'll wait until tomorrow, maybe see if he plays tomorrow, maybe or get an update. Try to hold as much as I can with Onyeka Okongwu.
Yeah, and if you're holding on to Mark Williams, well, I'd rather have Okongwu than Mark Williams. I think.
Yes, for sure.
So you may want to make that change in case you see Okongwu being dropped. I mean, that's a better or more sure thing there, Okongwu. All right, that's it for today's quickie. I just realized I have to fetch my daughter in school, so I'll end it here. And guys, we'll see you guys again tomorrow for another Daily Fantasy. Bye.